I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. On July 14th, Kellyanne Conway, who 7 months ago had denied that there had ever been any contact about electoral meddling between the Trump campaign and the Russians, announced, quote, "The goalposts have been moved. We were promised hard evidence of systemic, sustained, furtive collusion." In point of fact, the story of the June 9th, 2016 Trump Jr. Veselnitskaya meeting is all that and more. The sheer volume of information in this one thread of the Trump campaign conspiracy with Russia is so overwhelming that only when viewed chronologically does it make any sense, or does it become clear that it is, in short, a timeline of treason. Spring 2015, per the Wall Street Journal, U.S. intelligence agencies begin to detect conversations and, quote, captured Russian government officials discussing associates of Donald Trump. June 3rd, 2016, Trump acquaintance Rob Goldston emails Trump Jr. offering a meeting at which Trump Jr. will be provided with, quote, very high-level and sensitive information that would incriminate Hillary as part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. 17 minutes later, Trump Jr. replies, "If it's what you say, I love it." June 7th, 2016, 6:14 p.m., Trump Jr. confirms the meeting. June 7th, 2016, 9:13 p.m., 3 hours after the confirmation, Donald Trump gives a speech promising revelations, quote, probably next Monday, about how Hillary Clinton's, quote, corrupt dealings gave, quote, favorable treatment to other governments, including, quote, the Russians. June 9th, 2016, 4 p.m., Trump Jr., Kushner, Manafort meet in Trump Tower with Russian attorney Natalia Veselnitskaya, reported Russian spy Rinat Akhmetshin, the publicist Goldston, a pro-Putin translator, and possibly others. Veselnitskaya reportedly tells Trump Jr., Kushner, and Manafort that she has information about illicit donations and funding to the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. They do not contact the FBI. June 9th, 2016, 4:40 p.m., 10 minutes after the meeting ends, Donald Trump tweets mockingly about Clinton's emails using the figure 33,000 for the first time. June 14th, 2016, 5 days after the meeting, it is revealed for the first time that the Democratic National Committee has been the victim of an ongoing months-long cyber attack, documents then posted by hacker Guccifer 2.0. July 24th, 2016, 45 days after the meeting, Trump Jr. is interviewed on CNN and dismisses questions about whether the Russians are trying to hurt Clinton. "It's disgusting," Trump Jr. says. "It's so phony. I can't think of bigger lies." But that exactly goes to show you what the DNC and what the Clinton camp will do. They will lie and do anything to win. July 27th, 2016, 48 days after the meeting, at a news conference, Trump says, quote, "Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails." December 18th, 2016, 192 days after the meeting, Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway asked if anyone involved in the Trump campaign had any contact with Russians trying to meddle with the election, answers, quote, "Absolutely not. And I discussed that with the president-elect just last night. Those conversations never happened. That is just not only inaccurate and false, but it's dangerous." March 17th, 2017, 281 days after the meeting, the New York Times asks Trump Jr. if he had any campaign-related meetings with Russian nationals. None that were set up, none that I can think of at the moment, certainly none that I was representing the campaign in any way. April 4th, 2017, 299 days after the meeting, Senator Charles Grassley of Iowa writes to the Secretary of Homeland Security asking for information about a lobbyist who, quote, has been accused of acting as an unregistered foreign agent for Russian interests and apparently has ties to Russian intelligence. The lobbyist is named Rinat Akhmetshin. He was at the meeting. No later than April 30th, 2017, 325 days after the meeting, the fact of the Trump Jr., Kushner, Manafort meeting with Veselnitskaya and the others is known to the Senate Intelligence Committee. Member James Lankford of Oklahoma says, quote, "This meeting was known because it was turned in the background checks in April, actually, for Jared Kushner." May 12th, 2017, 337 days after the meeting, the Trump Justice Department settles its fraud and money laundering case against a Russian firm. The damages sought had been $230 million. The settlement amount was just $6 million. The Russian firm was Treason Holdings. Its attorney was Natalia Veselnitskaya. The prosecution had been begun by the man Trump fired as the New York U.S. Attorney, Preet Bharara. June 23, 2017, 379 days after the meeting, Kushner reportedly resubmits his SF-86 security form for the second time, adds only one name to the list of his foreign contacts, that of Natalia Veselnitskaya. Approximately June 27, 2017, 383 days after the meeting, Trump attorneys Mark Kasowitz and Alan Garton are reportedly informed of the Trump Jr. email chain about the meeting, and the Trump campaign reportedly pays $50,000 to the law offices of Alan S. Futerfass. He will shortly be identified as representing Trump Jr., and per election law, if he can be paid through the campaign, then by definition, he is dealing with a campaign matter. July 8, 2017, 394 days after the meeting, the New York Times reports Trump Jr., Kushner, and Manafort met with Veselnitskaya on June 9, 2016. Trump Jr. then issues a denial, claiming the meeting was about Russian adoptions. The New York Times later reports the denial was crafted by, quote, a small cadre of President Trump's advisors huddled in a cabin aboard Air Force One. Ultimately, the president signed off on a statement for Donald Trump Jr., unquote. That effectively makes any effort to conceal this truth a White House cover-up. July 9th, 2017, 395 days after the meeting, the New York Times now reports Trump Jr. was promised dirt on Hillary Clinton at that meeting. Trump Jr. now issues a second denial, saying the meeting was supposed to be about the Clinton campaign and dirt, but that he ended it when no supporting evidence was provided and the subject was changed to adoptions. July 11th, 2017, 397 days after the meeting, the New York Times advises Trump Jr. it is about to publish his email chain. He releases it instead himself. He is interviewed on Fox News, dismisses the meeting as, quote, such a nothing. Is asked, quote, as far as this incident is concerned, this is all of it? And Trump Jr. replies, this is everything, this is everything. July 12, 2017, 398 days after the meeting, Donald Trump speaks of the meeting to reporters aboard Air Force One, quote, I only heard about it 2 or 3 days ago. July 13, 2017, 399 days after the meeting, Donald Trump changes his story. He tells reporters he may have known about the meeting earlier, quote, in fact, maybe it was mentioned at some point, but he insists he was not told it was about Hillary Clinton and dirt. The press secretary for Vice President Mike Pence is then interviewed by Fox News. 3 times he is asked if Pence has ever met with Russians. 3 times he refuses to answer. July 14, 2017, 400 days after this meeting, it is reported another Russian accompanied Veselnitskaya. He soon identifies himself as Ranit Akhmetshin. He is in turn identified as a former Soviet intelligence agent, possibly continuing Russian, quote, asset, accused computer hacker. Akhmetshin reportedly says Veselnitskaya brought a folder of documents to the meeting and he believes she left them there. Veselnitskaya, in turn, tells the Wall Street Journal she was in frequent contact with Russian officials. July 16, 2017, 402 days after the meeting, Trump attorney Jay Sekulow asks why, if it was nefarious, the Secret Service didn't prevent the meeting of June 9, 2016. It is noted that at that date, no member of the Trump family except Trump himself was receiving Secret Service protection, raising the question why the Secret Service would have vetted a meeting Trump himself did not know about himself, or ask about himself, or attend himself. We were promised hard evidence of systemic, sustained, furtive collusion, said Kellyanne Conway. Well, Ms. Conway, promise fulfilled. Your client can turn himself in any time now. Resist. Remove. Peace.